Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. This will be the last video of this app tutorial, and in this video we are going to set up Add Edit Note Fragment of our Note application. So let's get started. So firstly, in our Notes fragment we will uncomment this code and remove this create fake notes function here and from here also, as that was just to test our recycler view. And in the last video I forgot to add an on-click listener to our floating action button. So we'll do that right now. So binding dot tab add note dot set on click listener, and inside of this we will just navigate to our add edit note fragment, and for that firstly we will create an action. So val action, it will be equal to notes fragment directions dot action notes fragment to add edit note fragment. And since we already specified the default value of this node parameter to null, so if we do not pass this here, it will automatically be null. Then we will call find nav controller dot navigate and pass our action to it. Now we'll move back to our add edit node fragment. So firstly, in our add edit node fragment, we will get the arguments passed to it, and for that we will create a private var args. It will be of type add edit fragment args by nav args, and we will just import it using alt enter, and this args will contain the node which is passed to this fragment, and below it we will create a private var current node. It will be of type node of nullable type, and we'll set it to null initially, and we'll just import this node. Now inside of our on view created, we will set this current node equal to args.node. This args.node is the node which is passed to this add edit node fragment. So if we check the completed node application, then we can see that when we click a node item, then the edit text have the value of the clicked node, and when we click this plus button, the edit texts are empty. So we have to check if this args.node is not null, which means that we are navigated to this add edit node fragment by clicking on a node item. Then we have to set the values of our edit text. So for that we will use current node dot let, and the code inside of this let block will only get executed if this current node is not null. So inside of it we will call binding dot apply, and we will set the values to our edit text inside of it. So it title dot set text, and before that we will change the name of this variable here from it to node, and we'll set the text here to node dot title, then et description dot set text, it will be node dot description. Then we will create a last modified string as we did in node list adapter. It will be equal to last modified colon node dot created date formatted. Then we will set this last modified string to our tv last modified dot text. It will be equal to last modified string. And if we check the completed node application again, then we can see that when we click this plus button, the last modified text view is not visible, and when we click this any node item, then this last modified text view is visible. So for that we need to go to our fragment add edit node.xml file and set the visibility of this text view to gone. Then we'll move back to our fragment add edit node, and here when the text is set, when this last modified string is set as text to tv last modified, then we set the visibility of it to visible. Visibility equal to view dot visible. Now usually when a user wants to edit a node, he makes changes in the description. So we will request focus on our description edit text using request focus function. Now we will create a function to save notes. So private function save note. It will take no parameters and we will call binding.apply inside of it, and then we will get the values from our edit text. So val title will be equal to et title dot text dot toString. Then we will get the description. So val description, it will be equal to et description dot text dot toString, and then we will check if the title or description is empty. So if title dot is empty or description dot is empty, then we will just return from here as we don't want to execute further. And we will also check if the user has not made any changes in the current node. So we'll call current node dot let, and the code inside of this let block will only get executed if current node is not null. So if title is equal to it dot title and description is equal to it dot description. If this is the case, then it means that the user has not made any changes in title or description. So in that case, we will just call return here and we do not want to execute further. And if both these conditions are not true, then we will create a new node. It will be equal to, and now we will check if current node is equal to null. It means that the user is creating a new node. So we should just create a new node and give the title and description to its constructor, and we'll call else afterwards. And inside of this else block we will make changes to our current node, which will be current node dot apply, and we will update the title. So this dot title equal to title, then we will update the description equal to description, then we will update the last modified date. So created, it will be equal to system dot current time in millis. Then afterwards we will insert this new node in our nodes table. So before that we will check if this new node is not equal to null. Then we will just insert this new node in our nodes table. So view model dot insert node, and we will just pass our new node to it. Then we will make a toast, and the context will be require context, and the text will be just saved. Now we need to think where we can call this save node function. So if we check our application, the completed application, and see how it saves the nodes. So whenever we create a node, then we can press the back button to save it, or we can create a node and just minimize or close the application. It will still get saved. So how can we do that? We can do that by overriding onPause function. So we will override onPause, and inside of it we will call save node. So as soon as our fragment gets in the pause state, which means that either we minimize it or press the back button, then this save node function will be called and our node will get saved. So if we run our application, so the app has installed now we can check the working of it. So we click the plus button and write any text, and you can see the text color is white as we have added these two lines in our themes.xml file. So we need to change the text color of our edit text. So we will go here and change the text color. to black and copy this line of code in our description edit text and run the application again. And now we can check our application by adding some notes to it. So we'll give some title and description and click the back button, and we can see that our note is saved. And we can also try to give an extra long title and see what happens. Now you can see there are three dots at the end. This is due to the max length and ellipse size attribute that we provided to our text views. And we can also check what happens when we close the application. So we'll give some title and description, and if we close the application, save toast appears and we can see that our toast is saved. We can also try editing our note, and our note is saved now. Now there's just one more functionality left to implement, and that's the swipe to delete functionality. So for that, we will go to our notes fragment, and here we will create a private function and name it as set swipe to delete. And inside of it, we will create an item touch callback. So when item touch callback, it will be equal to object of item touch helper dot simple callback, and in the constructor we will pass the drag directions and swipe directions. So for drag directions we don't pass anything, just 0, and for swipe directions we will pass right direction. So item touch helper dot right. Now we'll open the braces here, and inside of it we need to implement some functions on moved and on swipe. So we'll select them both. Now we can format this line, and this onMove function is for drag and drop functionality. So we'll just return false inside of this. Then inside of this onSwipe function, first we will get the item position from view holder. So while item position, it will be equal to view holder dot adapter position, and then we will get the current node from it. So while current node, it will be equal to node list adapter dot current list, and we'll pass the index to it, which is just the item position. Then we will delete this node when this node is swiped. So view model dot delete node, and we'll pass the current node to it. Then we will show a snack bar. So snack bar dot make, and we'll pass the view to it, which will be just require view, and the text will be node deleted successfully, and the length will be snackbar.length short. Then we will create an action for it. To set action, and we will give the text for our action, which will be just undo. Then inside of the lambda function, we will give the item click listener to this action, and by clicking undo we just insert the same note again. So view model dot insert note, and we'll just insert the current note again, then call dot show afterwards. And outside this item touch callback here, we will call item touch helper. Then inside of the constructor we will pass our item touch callback and call dot attach to recycler view, which will be just binding dot rv nodes. And now we'll call this function inside of our setup recycler view function at the end here, set swipe to delete. And that's it. Now we can run the application and see how it goes. Now we can run our application, and we'll see that now the items are swipeable to the right, and when we swipe them a snack bar appears. And since we are seeing this floating action button move upwards, this is because of the coordinator layout that we added as our root layout in notes fragment. A coordinator layout gives behavior to our views. Now we can add a note again, click the back button, then we can swipe it and undo it. And if we add multiple notes, and edit the last one here, and when we press the back button it comes to the top since the notes are sorted by the created date. So guys, that's it for this video. This was my first app tutorial series and hope you guys liked it and learned something new. If so, then hit that like button and do subscribe to my channel. And also the code to this project will be available in my GitHub repository, of which the link is in description below. And also follow me on my Instagram handle, the link to which is also in the description. Thank you.